Hello there, welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 911. Episode number 911, Nuevo Uno of the Agostinho Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere in the depths of East London. How you doing, people? How you feeling? Great, good to hear. By the way, isn't it funny? Oh no, it's not 911, it's 912. My bad. It's Nuevo Uno Dos. It's 912. It's not 911. Apologies. Your ears do not belie you. Your ears do not fail you. I got that wrong. Hold my hands up. Apologies. Lo siento. How are you guys doing? Great. Good to know. How am I? Feeling amazing. How am I feeling amazing? It's been a good week. It's been a good couple of weeks. It's been a good couple of weeks of clean, healthy living. I've been working out a bunch. I've been streaming a bunch. I've been just living a bunch, and I'm feeling good. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling actually pretty decent for once, especially considering this weekend I hadn't gone out anywhere. Usually the weekend I'm looking forward to it because I want to go out and do crazy stuff. But this time, I'm legitimately feeling really mighty fine and good. So big up me, big up blood clot me. What else has been going on? Not really too much. There's a lot of stuff to talk about football, but I don't want to get myself depressed. There's some other stuff I need to go over with you guys in terms of the Cultural Commentary Show, of course, the #1 show that you always tune in to listen. So thank you for helping me out and stuff with the listening part of things. So let's just dive on into it, innit? Let's just dive on into it. First things first, I've just seen this on the timeline and I was somewhat surprised. I'm not going to lie. I was somewhat surprised to see this. So this is courtesy of a random account here on Twitter. The caption is, Chunkz has restarted his own podcast, this time named it The Chunkz Show. So as you guys know, Chunkz co-host Young Philly has unfortunately been accused of the big R word, which I wouldn't say it's unfortunate for him because if he did it, he's a madman. But in terms of Chunkz, it's unfortunate because his co-host is gone. But since then, I think he's been kind of keeping his head down, doing his own thing, collaborating with other people. But it seems like he's starting his own solo podcast, which I don't think he ever had. I'm sure they always did things together, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not really too familiar with the law about Chunkz and Philly, but from what I understand, from observing them from afar and seeing them on my timeline, I always remember them being together. I don't remember them coming up separately, to be honest. Even though they did separate content, I kind of remember them doing a lot of content together. So I'm wondering, is this just him going back to what he did before he met Philly? Or is this him trying to really separate himself from Philly? I'm not really too sure. Either way, this is a clip from the first episode, I'm assuming, featuring Chunkz. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear what he has to say.
What people, it's Chunkz and I'm here with the Chunkz Show. Now you guys are probably thinking, why are you starting the Chunkz Show? Now, this is something I really did enjoy doing, which was just talking to the internet. You guys did give us a lot of support. So I do want to say thank you very much for that. And I just decided to, you know what, start my own podcast. Of course, there is an ongoing situation that's happening right now, which I won't comment on. I can't comment on because of the fact it is ongoing. So I hope you guys understand that and are here to support the show, the Chunkz Show, because that's what it's about. I'm trying to elevate this. It's a passion project for me. It's something I really enjoy doing. So I'm here to give this a shot and give it a try, and hopefully you guys can support.
He didn't even say man's name. He didn't even say man's name. That's a Mazzaleen, isn't it? He didn't even say Young Philly's name. God damn. Now, off the top, I've got really shit analysis because I don't really know these guys too well. Although I'm from the UK, I should probably know these guys well, but I'm not going to lie. I never watched a single piece of Young Chunkz and Philly content. It's just not for me. I never watched a single piece of it. I was only familiar with these guys, or with Young Philly especially, when he got accused of rape or when he got charged with rape. I wasn't really familiar with them apart from that. And of course with Chunkz, the other reason why I know who Chunkz is, the only reason why I know who Chunkz is because of this legendary video that I'm sure some of you guys remember. Remember this legendary video when Chris Brown was in London and for whatever reason, Chunkz was also in the same club as Chris Brown and got on the microphone and started singing. It seems like to Chris Brown, which is fucking bizarre. I think he was singing a Chris Brown song to Chris Brown in a club. and Chris Brown wasn't really paying him much attention, and he was really belting it in the flipping microphone. This is a legendary Chunkz moment, legendary UK moment, legendary for all the wrong reasons in Chunkz, for Chunkz anyway.
Then Chunkz stole the show.
Singing into another man's back of the head is crazy. Singing into another man's head from the back is fucking crazy. I'm not even sure if the microphone is even on. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like, it's flipping crazy. And he keeps pointing to him as well. Like, it's one thing if you're having your own fun. It's one thing if you're super lit having your own fun. You just love that song. It does something for you. And you want to get on the mic and do, you know, have a little bit of whatever. But he's like trying to get his attention. So what? If Chris Brown turns around, what are you going to do? If Chris Brown turns around and looks at you, what are you going to do? Are you going to carry on singing into his eyes? Rotted. He's trying to get signed, isn't it? He's trying to get out of the hood. He's trying to get out of the hood. He's trying to get signed. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, that's what I remember Chunkz from, but I don't remember much about him in terms of content-wise. Anyway, all that to say, my first reaction to this is, number one, wow, he didn't even say Young Philly's name. I know your boy's got a rape charge against him, but that's your boy. You built from the ground up. You know what I mean? You can at least say the man's name. You don't need to be standing by him and shit. I get it. He's accused of the big rape word or the big rape charge. If I'm not mistaken, there was another charge that came out, right? He got accused of raping Australia while he was on tour. And then I think another woman came out from Magaluf or something. Something happened in Magaluf. So another madness. So yeah, he's got 2 rape charges on his jacket. No one's saying that you should fucking be standing up for him and fighting his battles. You got your own family to look after. You got your own money to make. I get it. But not even saying his name is a fucking Mazzaleen. Not even saying his fucking name is fucking wild, right? The second thing I was thinking of as well when I was watching this clip, I was like, I wonder, because when Young Philly got cancelled for the rape charge, a lot of brands and sponsors obviously ditched him. But there are a lot of really commercial ones, right? Really big ones. McDonald's, JD Sports, this brand, that brand, this brand. I would assume Chunkz probably had the same type of sponsorships too. So I'm wondering, were those sponsorships tied to them both? Like, I wonder if those sponsorships didn't only drop Young Philly, they also dropped Chunkz because he's associated with Young Philly. So this might be the reason why he's restarting his podcast, because although he's a very successful dude and he's been doing content for years in the UK, killing it, super famous over here, super lit over here, super clouded up, maybe those sponsors have dried up. Maybe they've distanced themselves from him because he's Young Philly's guy, even though he's not the one that's got the rape charge, even though he's completely innocent and not involved and it doesn't involve him whatsoever, none of his business. I wonder if some of these brands didn't only drop Young Philly, they also dropped him, which is why he's restarting this podcast. That might explain it, because in my head I was thinking, hold on, why is he even bothering with this if he's got so many other things that he's got going on? Like, and then the other thing I was thinking, the third thing I was thinking too, I was like, is this really his forte? I know he says he wants to be his passion project, but is Chunkz really a solo content guy? From what I know of him, he's always does stuff with people. Like the Harry Pinero, the Young Philly, they always do stuff in groups. They always do stuff in duos and whatever. That's how these guys work really best. They kind of like bounce off on each other on panels. So I'm wondering, like, is he actually going to do well? Is he actually going to survive? Is he actually going to create good content by himself? Or will it just end up damaging his brand because people will realize, oh shit, he's not that funny when he's on his own, you know? I wonder if that's actually the right strategy. Maybe instead of doing a podcast like this, he should maybe do something more like a stream. That might be a bit more of a better idea, a better solution for what right now. Instead of doing a podcast by himself, a solo one, which I do, which is quite difficult to do sometimes, but on his level must be even harder. It might be better just to do a live stream so that you're at least communicating and, with your fans in real time. You can have fun events. You can bring people on the show spontaneously and shit. You can do IRL stuff with all the stuff he does and all the brand events he goes to and everything else it may be. That might be the best way to go about things, as opposed to just sitting stationary on a table by himself. Because I think this table thing only works when he's with Young Philly, pre-rape allegations, when he's with Harry Pinero and all these other people. But yeah, man, crazy. He won't even say the guy's name. He didn't even say his name. That's fucking wild. But what can you expect in it? What can you expect if your boy gets charged with rape? Like a lot of people were saying some mad things about Chunkz, as if like he should be coming up, standing up for Young Philly, defending him more. But I don't know, man. I don't think you owe your boy that level of defense in public if they get charged with that sort of a crime. It's one thing if it's some financial white collar thing, blue collar thing. It's another thing if it's maybe a fight that happened with an overzealous fan or spectator and they got charged with common assault or something. But rape is mad. Rape is up there with kiddie diddling. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't expect anyone to defend you apart from your parents, really. You know what I mean? No one's really gonna stand by your side. And from what we've seen so far, judging by the videos of Young Philly going in and out of court to kind of check in and whatever else it may be, the only person that is actually with him is his mum. Which makes sense, because those type of charges, they're just too sticky. They're just too toxic. They're just too nuclear for anybody else to stand by your side. Now, if I'm Young Philly, I'm still pissed, though. Not gonna lie. If I'm Young Philly, I'm still pissed because he was super popular. He is still popular. I'd imagine maybe more for the wrong reasons now. He had everybody around him. A bunch of people probably sucking him off, wanting to get near him and shit. Then you get charged with what you get charged with, and suddenly everybody forgets your number. I'm sure his follower counts have gone down. I'm sure he's noticed who's kind of unfollowed him. People have probably blocked him on the sly. He's probably not getting his phone calls returned. He's probably getting left on scene. He's probably getting one tick on WhatsApp and all those places and stuff, and maybe it'd be like blocked on iMessage. Like he could probably tell that people have definitely, put some arm distance between him. But that must feel a little bit bittersweet, especially if you're the type of guy like Young Philly and you do your dirt around other people. Maybe some people know. Maybe some other guys were involved also in some of your Mazza. So now you're thinking, shit, you're dissing yourself for me publicly when you were there when I was doing some of this grease. And now you want to play flipping, you want to play the do-gooder role. You want to pretend like you're all cracking, squeaking clean. Like, you're going to feel a little bit angry. But the only person he should be angry at is himself. The only person he should be angry at is himself, because if he's guilty, he's really fucked up his career in a big way. But again, the writing was on the wall, to be honest. I've watched a bunch of clips of him. I watched that one, the 20V whatever one day in. I watched a bunch of other clips of him doing interviews, man on the street thing during music festivals. And my guy was just too thirsty, man. I think that's the main problem with most men, in it. Your downfall is not going to come because of your downfall is most likely going to come because of your thirst. If you don't get your thirst in anger, and I don't even know if it's lust. I wouldn't even say lusted thing. I think lust is not a negative emotion or a negative thing, or a negative action. I think it's the horniness and the thirst that will fuck you. Horniness and thirst is what's really gonna fuck you, because I'm sure there are some girls that came out and defended Young Philly. Like, yeah, I had a good time with him. He's a good guy. We hooked up a bunch of times. A bunch of girls came out and said some good shit about him. But there was also a bunch of girls that came out and said, my friends didn't even hook up with him, but they didn't like his overall vibe. He was too touchy. He was too forward. He was too aggressive, too this, too that. And it's like, rah, Ted, man. Like, you can't be having ladies coming out saying that about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, girls all over the world, essentially, from where you're touring, essentially saying, you know what? He just did too much. And this is what it led to. It led to him now being accused of what he's accused of. And now, that's a fucking mad thing about these situations. Even though it's not Chunkz that's guilty of what happened, or he wasn't even fucking there, he wasn't even in the fucking country when it happened. Because of Young Philly's actions, his alleged actions, now Chunkz is suffering. Because if my theory is right, and those sponsors like FA, McDonald's, Subway, all these places, Boohoo, fucking, whatever else I'm thinking of, whatever shop, H&M and shit. If all those sponsors that dropped Young Philly actually had a deal that included Chunkz, so when they drop Young Philly, they also drop Chunkz, that just goes to prove how devastating stuff like cancellations can be, or horniness, right? Not having your fucking horniness and thirst in control. because you could end up affecting other people's lives negatively, you know? Chunkz wasn't even there, and now he's having to pick up the scraps of what's happening and trying to get his quote-unquote life back together. Even though he's not guilty of nothing that occurred, he wasn't even in the fucking country when that shit went down. It's pretty fucking wild, man. So I understand why he's doing what he's doing. So big up Chunkz. Hopefully this show works out for him. Personally, if I was advising him, I'd probably say he should steer more in that direction of doing a live stream. I think he'd really pop with a live stream, especially his personality being bubbly, funny and shit. And also give him a chance to interact more with his fans and stuff. And also be a spontaneous thing where he could bring people in, you know, kind of copy the model that all these other guys are doing, like the young, you know, the Kites and Nats and iShow Speeds and shit. I think that would work. Even maybe IRL streams with all the events he goes to, in award shows, activations, all this malarkey, even studio sessions. I think that would work really well. But I guess it might, you know, maybe that would naturally evolve over time. We'll see how it flipping plays out. But I did double check online to see what's gone with Young Philly. And the latest article, obviously, I was able to check was one from March, actually. March, obviously, you got here, Young Philly pleads not guilty to sexual assault charges. This is him pleading not guilty. I think the case is coming up pretty soon, the actual court case for this. Let's quickly read it from BBC. British rapper and internet personality Young Philly has pleaded not guilty, to multiple sexual assaults in Western Australia. The star, whose real name is Andres Felipe Valencia Barrentos, appeared before Perth magistrates Tuesday. Court documents revealed the pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of assault, occasioning bodily harm, 1 of strangulation, and 4 counts of sexual penetration without consent. He will appear before the state's higher district court on the 13th of June. So it's coming up next week. Another court case on 13th. The rapper and YouTuber have been on bail since October 2024 after allegedly sexually assaulting a woman aged in her 20s in his hotel room after she performed at the venue in Hillary's coastal suburb of Perth. Actually, I'm thinking about it. It's the 6th. What day is it now? It's the 7th of June now. And Chunkz has just put out a video about his own solo show today, or the other day, on the 5th. Maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't. Maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't. Maybe he's been made aware that Young Philly is going down, hence why he's doing his own show. This is less about the sponsors and more about him putting some real distance between him and Young Philly. Because the court case is happening on the 13th, according to this article. I wonder. The rapper and YouTuber has been on bail since October 2024 after allegedly sexually assaulting a woman aged in her 20s. The attack is allegedly to have taken place on Saturday, September 28th of last year. He's best known for his work with YouTube collective Beta Squad, as well as presented shows with the BBC Three. Barrentos was in Australia touring his music at the time of the offence. He also appeared in the UK Soccer Aid, ITV, and Great British Bake Off. By the way, how disgustingly horny do you have to be on tour? You're on tour in another country. You're at your littest ever. That's the littest you could be. I don't think there's any more lit you can be than being on tour. Your own headlining tour in another fucking continent, right? Surely if you're on tour in another fucking continent, there's a bunch of people who would probably willingly, with every fucking level of enthusiasm, get down on their knees and suck you off 1,000,000 times over, right? Willing adults, willing participant adults would be willing to do whatever with you because you're at your littest. But you still go to a level of forcing yourself on somebody. That's some real scumbag shit, you know. If he's guilty, that's some real scumbag shit. You're on tour. You probably got a gang of groupies at the shows, in your DMs, trying to meet up, trying to link up, trying to hang out, trying to drink, trying to dance, trying to party. And you're still forcing yourself on people. God damn it, bro. If this guy's guilty, he's fucked. But the other point as well is that even if he's not guilty, he's still fucked because this is going to damage his reputation forever. And those sponsors and brands won't come back. Even if he gets found not guilty, unequivocally, those sponsors and brands won't come back and say, I'm sorry. His brand is still being damaged. And I think, personally, that's a good thing. Because it teaches you a lesson of not being too thirsty. Because even if you didn't do it, you still put yourself in a position where somebody could accuse you of doing said thing. You have to move a bit, you know what I mean? You got to move a bit smarter. You can't be moving like that. Honestly, like, look at people like iShow Speed, for instance. iShow Speed has done like a whole world tour. I don't think I've heard one instance of some girl saying he did a madness. You can move. It's very easy to move without doing madness. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. You just got to not be a fucking bad guy. And then, of course, there's another accusation here. This was a recent one. YouTuber Young Philly accused of raping a British tourist in Magaluf. Now, not too sure what's going to happen with this one because this is another charge on top, I guess. This is courtesy of The Standard. It says YouTube star British rapper Young Philly has been accused of raping a tourist in Magaluf. The 29-year-old internet personality's real name is being investigated by a judge in Majorcan capital of Palma over the alleged attack. So it seems like after the case in Australia, he's got another case pending in Spain. God damn it. It comes after Barrentos pleaded not guilty less than a fortnight ago for 8 charges of rape in September in Hillary's in Perth. As he left Perth magistrates, Barrentos responded to reporters' questions about the situation, says Lovely Day. Now the YouTuber star is facing a fresh allegation after a British tourist accused him of forcing himself on her at an unnamed Magaluf hotel after he performed at an island resort. So it seems to be a common occurrence, isn't it? Whenever he performs somewhere, a madness goes down. Something happens. Whenever he hits the stage, some sort of fucking venom rape thing kind of pops out of him, innit? And he just gets onto attacking people. Fucking crazy. Allegedly, by the way, allegedly. The woman believed to be around 20 reported him to police in the UK, who passed details on to the allegation to the counterparts in Spain. The holidaymaker, who alleges the Barrentos raped her, claims they first met in Magaluf Beach Club, where he was performing, and later crossed paths again at a nearby nightclub. She is accused of star, who's featured in Soccer Aid, of groping her at the club. The woman told police that the alleged sex act took place after she had consensual sex with a friend or Brentos in a hotel room. She claims she accompanied the other man to Brentos' room before ending up alone in a social media star where he raped her. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Holy shit. British authorities contacted Spanish guard who passed on deals and allegations to the investigation court of Palma. So yeah, man, like it's looking kind of peaky for Young Philly. So maybe, considering the court case is happening in the 13th, maybe Chunkz knows something that we don't know. Hence why he's put some distance between him and Young Philly. But let's see what happens. Let's see how it transpires in the next coming days. We'll obviously get a better idea on what's going on. Big up everybody in the stream chat. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying about this? Big up everybody in the stream chat. Apologies. To be fair, he does look like Diddy. Lock him up. Big up Younger Vibes. If he smells like Diddy, looks like Diddy, then he probably did it. He isn't Chris Brown. Women want to link for clout, not a freak off. That's a good point, to be honest. That's a very good point. There needs to be a distinction between that, by the way. Maybe the fellas need to hear that. Not all women want to link up for a freak off. Some just want to link up for a clout exchange, which is kind of the modern interpretation of like networking, isn't it? Modern, translation of what networking used to be. Like a clout exchange. They want to take a picture, they want to do a couple of snaps, do a IG reel, maybe do a fucking TikTok dance with you, but it doesn't necessarily mean they want to suck you off, Just have that fun. That's quite fun too, to link up with like cute girlfriends or cute girl fans that are your, that are part of your little haram, and then do a bit of content with them, not part of your flipping crew, and then do a bit of content with them. But I think some of these guys because they're so used to having maybe it's not that, maybe no, I wouldn't say it is their fault, but maybe it's the thing of like, because they have so much male interaction, I'd imagine most of these guys' fan base is probably 99% male. When they do come across women who like them or are into the stuff they do, it can sometimes, throw them for a loop and make them think that the girl fucking wants them like in that way. When really it's just a fan. Just happens to have a JJ, Big up everybody else. Big up Don Dotter. Content creators today are like the rock bands of the 70s, 80s in terms of how they dicey they get. Yeah, that's the thing though. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's dicey. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to write off everybody and say every content creator is dicey. I think there are some well-behaved single lads out there who are just, having their fun, consensually with grown adults and shit, treating women like with respect, whatever else it may be. I just think there are some who don't do that, who kind of just run and gun. But I don't think the small minority of ones who give the other ones a bad name should account for everybody, That's what I think. But what do I know? Yeah, big up Kesselmode. He looks ultra horny. Oh, trust me. Trust me, Kesod Moses. Some of the videos that I've seen of this guy doing interviews, especially at festivals and shit, like at Wireless, I think it's Wireless, so one of them, I think I saw a couple of him doing interviews. Like, God, anytime he's interviewing a girl, anytime he's doing like those like man in the street on the ground type of interviews, and it involves a girl, it immediately goes to sexual innuendos. Like any question immediately goes to something super flirty. It's like, brother, man, like banter, man. Like, can't you banter without getting a boner? Aren't you able to banter without getting your dick out? Like, Jesus Christ. It was so funny to see. He was super, super on it. But again, I think he's of Colombian descent as well, right? So he's got that Latino, Hispanic, you know, blood in him. You know what I mean? Those guys are on fire all the time. It never turns off. This guy could be 80 and he's still ready to rock. You know what I mean? His head is still fucking on a swivel. He's still out here like a fucking meerkat. You know what I mean? Spotting talent walking down the street regardless. So maybe it's just in his blood. You know what I mean? Maybe it's in him. Maybe it's in him. It's not on him. It kind of is what it is. But let's move. Let's move. Big up Amerie, man. Big up Amerie. This was fucking brutal. Amerie did a Tiny Desk on NPR. NPR Tiny Desk. You know those performances. And I forgot. No, I didn't forget. I did remember. Or I knew. But I was reminded of just how weak of a vocalist she is, because God Almighty, she kind of sounded like me in the shower. I'm not gonna lie. Amerie kind of sounded like me in the shower. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yo, Amerie, that voice, bro. That voice live is a Mazzaleen. One more time. Trying to keep my eyes closed. Trying to keep Holy shit. That voice was crazy. I don't know if those guys were laughing at her singing or they were just smiling at each other, but that was fucking hilarious. I don't know if the band were laughing at her singing or smiling at each other. I'm not too sure. And even the background singers aren't that great either. Even the background singers who are usually pretty sick, they're pretty terrible. Fucking hell, man. This was a disaster. Unfortunately. The good thing about it is that although she can't sing, and she clearly sounds like a strangled cat, or she sounds like me, you and I, or especially me in the fucking shower, it still is a bit of a vibe. I'm not gonna lie. It's weird. She doesn't sound good, tonally, but it's still a bit of a vibe. Oh, ouch. Oh, Amerie, what? We don't know each other. What? You don't know how to sing well, my dear. To be fair, like I said, it's still a bop though. I don't know what's... maybe it's because it's a hit record, but it still sounds and feels like a bop. Even though she can't sing, and she legitimately sounds like she's... You know, her voice is gone. It still is a bit of a vibe. Why is that? But I also wonder if a lot of this negativity around this NPR is in part due to her Joe Budden appearance. I wonder if Amerie on Joe Budden recently has played a role in this appearance being received the way it's been received. Because if you're not familiar, if you don't know, Amerie appeared on an episode of Joe Budden podcast. I'm not sure if it was a Patreon episode or it was a regular episode, but I did see clips of it, and she came out at the end of the show as being very much into conspiracy theories, like Anunnaki shit, like lizard people shit, pyramid shit, like she's really into that sort of shit. And I think it freaks people out. People basically called her light-skinned Jaguar Wright. Right? You know who Jaguar Wright is, right? People were calling her light-skinned Jaguar Wright. I think it freaked some people out to find out that she was one of those conspiracy theory woo-woo type of people. So I wonder if that appearance has played a role in this performance being the way it is, or being received the way it is. I wonder. So that was pretty bad. And then the other one was also bad. One of my other favorite songs of hers, unfortunately, another performance that didn't go too well, was a song Why Don't We Fall in Love, which might actually be my favorite song of Amerie's. I'm not gonna lie. I know one thing's obviously the big obvious hit, but Why Don't We Fall in Love is such an amazing fucking song. And unfortunately, she also butchered this too.
So many things I'm going through, so much that I want to do. It's starting to become so clear to me. Tomorrow ain't really guaranteed. So many days I thought of you. It's about time you know the truth. Got to act quickly when I fall in love. So many reasons why. So why don't we?
Oh my god! Even the choir, the band, the background singers, they make it worse, bro. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. They all definitely lied on their CV, innit? You know when you apply for a job and they said, you know, you have to know a language, you have to fucking be fluent in French or Spanish or something, and you lie, and then you finally get called up on it. This is the same thing here. Again, I don't fuck with the singing, but I like the performance. I think her confidence is kind of carrying it through. You know, I'm not sure what it is. I think her confidence, maybe her star power, maybe it's just like she's just like an old school pop star, you know, an old school artist who knows how to perform, knows how to carry a stage, command, like there's something about her that you still can't take your eyes off of. Like, even though it's terrible sonically, it's still a bop, it's still a vibe. I still want to go watch her perform live, you know. I'm glad she sings like that, because now it gives me confidence when I'm in the shower next. I'm not gonna feel self-conscious when I'm belting out one of her hits and my voice is crackling and my mirror fucking breaks or cracks. I'm not gonna feel too self-conscious because she sings just like me. Amerie is just like me for real, for real. Who would have guessed that? Amerie is just like me for real, for real. Let's move on. Let's move on. So, this is a pretty tragic headline. A development in the Diddy case that I'm sure some of you guys are aware of, that kind of broke my heart, but also made me think to myself, I wonder how many girls out there, I wonder how many women out there would actually accept this deal. This is a headline courtesy of The Telegraph. Diddy still paying ex-girlfriends $10,000 rent as part of a quote-unquote love contract, Jane Doe testifies. So this Jane Doe woman is on the stand now testifying in the Diddy trial, and people have basically uncovered her identity. Allegedly, this Jane Doe is 50 Cent's baby mum. That one girl that's like Blasian that Diddy was also dealing with at the same time he's dealing with Young Miami. So that's who the Jane Doe is. I'm not sure how the internet found out, but the internet uncovered her identity. So this is the development. It says Sean Diddy Combs bought an ex-girlfriend new teeth and is still paying her rent for her home as part of a log contract she made with the music mogul his sex trafficking trial has heard. The woman testified under the pseudonym Jane Doe testified all day Friday about a relationship with Diddy, their so-called hotel nights, days-long drug-fueled sex sessions. She told the court how Diddy began paying for her new house after she verbally agreed to a love contract with him in March 2023. The jury heard that Diddy asked her what she wanted as a monthly allowance, but when she asked for $15,000, he countered and got with $10,000, which she agreed. She said that she used the first payment to move into her home, and he still covers her rent monthly now. Diddy also provided $15,000 for the furniture to fill the apartment. The allowance made her feel like there was some sort of balance in our relationship because she was always loving to him, and for once this was him giving me some love in return, Doe told the court. She testified that Diddy also paid for her to get a new veneers because he didn't like my teeth. Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, made the appointment for her, Jane Doe recalls. So I'm wondering, how many women out there would be comfortable with a guy paying their mortgage, paying their rent, but then also having a contract that says, whenever I want to come through and smash, whenever I want to come through and hit it, you have to be ready. And is 10K enough, really? Is 10K really enough? Because what I've heard through the grapevine, or through academics specifically, because he's been covering and watching this really closely, is that I think when this Jane Doe was on the stand, they were grilling her, and essentially it came down to her saying she doesn't want to work. She has no desire to work. She fucking hates working, so she kind of lives off of her child support payments, which I'm guessing come from 50 Cent because they have a kid together, and she lives off the 10 grand that Diddy pays her. I'm assuming some of that 10 grand goes to rent or the mortgage, but whatever's left over, she makes that work. But she says that she doesn't want to have a job. So I'm wondering if some of these hotties out there, some of these IG baddies in particular, some of these social media girls, some of these Instagram models, I'm wondering if you as a guy actually had the money that Diddy has, or you were able to afford to spend 10K a month on a girl. Could you realistically DM whatever IG baddie you're into right now, whatever girl that you saved in your fucking bookmarks, and offer her this deal, and she would take it and say, hey, I'm a random, but I've got this money, here's proof, I want us to have a love contract. Would you be okay if I gave you 10,000 now every month, but then that also meant that anytime I went to hit, you'd be available? Unless obviously you're on your period and stuff. Would a lot of girls take it? Would a lot of women be comfortable with having that arrangement? Obviously we know what the arrangement is. It's essentially prostitution. We know what that technically is. But I'm just saying, if you are consenting, if somebody was to slide in your DMs now and offer you 10K a month to cover your rent, and then also to give you the opportunity to smash, would you do it? Big up Young Odd Vibes. No, because how do you say morals? Yeah, exactly. Big Young Odd Vibes. Como se dice morals? Como se dice integrity? Como se dice principles? Como se dice shame? Como se dice don't want to embarrass me parents? But I wonder how many girls would actually be comfortable doing it. I'm going to be honest here and say, I don't know many IG baddies. I don't know many Instagram models, personally. But from what I've been able to ascertain online, reading between the lines, I think you would be scared, you would be shocked by how many women would gladly, willingly accept that deal. Or would accept even less. She wanted 15 grand. Diddy gave her 10. I think you would be shocked by the amount of girls and the caliber of women, because a lot of men think, the more attractive a woman is, the more fucking illustrious and prestigious she must be. I think a lot of guys and a lot of women, especially if you look up to some of these girls, you would be shocked at the caliber of woman that would be more than comfortable with accepting $5,000 per month from a random stranger if it meant it would mean they don't have to work, it would cover most of their bills, and it would only require them to smash from time to time. Or when not time to time, fuck it, not time to time, whenever they wanted. I think you'd be shocked by the amount of girls that would do it. That's a really scary, sad part about it. And I'm not sure how he got here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure how he got here. I'm not sure how he got here, because I remember there was a time in my life growing up where like only the freakiest of girls and guys were into like sex work or actually explored it, right? Only the freakiest of guys and girls explored sex work. Nowadays, I don't know why that is the case, but I feel like some guys, some girls, their first option, if they don't want to work, is not to start a business, is not to do a little scam or whatever. Their first option is to go on OnlyFans. That's their first route. They're like, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna go on OnlyFans. It's like, surely there should be another way for you to like build up some money, build up some capital, whatever else it may be. Surely there's another way. But I think people's insistence or to go that direction, willingness to go that direction, and their refusal to work a job is kind of leading to where it is now at the moment. Don't get me wrong, everyone's kind of wanting to fucking, you know, I don't think anyone that's got a job is probably hates their job. There are only probably a small amount of people who actually have a job that somewhat fulfills them or that they actually enjoy. Most people just work to kind of pay the bills, you know, keep a roof over their head, keep themselves clothed and shit. But I don't know, man. It's a big jump, innit? It's a big jump from not liking your job to suddenly being okay with prostitution. It's a big jump, but I honestly think there's a lot of women that will do this. Sadly, a lot of women would gladly do this. This woman, for instance, this woman is still accepting money from Diddy, despite him being charged or being accused of what he's been accused of. She's still letting Diddy pay her bills. She's still more than comfortable with essentially defending him. And most likely, if Diddy ever gets out, she's going to be by his side, you know? So it goes to show that what I said in previous podcasts about being confused why some women don't seem to have a real aversion to men who are guilty of sexual assault and rape and shit. I think, well, I forgot who we were talking about, but I remember speaking about it in a podcast thinking, I think it was the whole DGG thing. I was like, you think a lot of women would like, an instant red flag would be a dude who's been accused of or charged with kiddie diddling or anything concerning rape. But for whatever reason, a lot of women could turn a blind eye to that sort of stuff and be comfortable with dating a guy with those allegations on his jacket. And I think we've seen proof of it via this court case and via this Jane Doe. Diddy's been accused of crazy crimes. We've seen the video of what he did to fucking Cassie. We know most likely Cassie's not his first victim. And this woman is more than comfortable with not only accepting his money, but defending him in court. And most likely, if he ever does get released or he fucking gets found not guilty, she's going to be one of the people who's going to stand next to him when he gives his press conference outside the court. You just know it. You just fucking know it. It's fucking crazy, man. It continues here. In early 2023, Doe texted him that she hadn't seen him in a while without the company of male escorts, prompting Diddy to note his recent purchases. Well, get over here, please. Look at the roof over your head and that pretty smile, he said in the text to Doe. Holy shit. Holy shit. She's like, hey, man, I kind of want to see you without all the fucking male strippers and shit and male escorts. Is it possible? And then he's like, bitch, I'm paying your bills. I'll do with you as I please. It's fucking crazy, man. It's absolutely insane, kind of disgusting and kind of scary. But I guess he has a point. I guess he kind of has a point. The music mogul faces 5 federal counts of sex trafficking, transportation to engage in prostitution, racketeering, conspiracy. He has pleaded not guilty. The major purchases were far from only memorable moments in the courtroom on Friday. At the start of the day, Diddy blew a kiss to his mother, who was sitting in the news and mouthed, "Hi, mummy." People are also, by the way, on a side note, people are also suggesting that Diddy and his mum were also involved in some freak shit. Which will make sense because I think one of the things we found out when when R. Kelly was convicted and that documentary came out, I think we found out from his brother, right, that he'd been abused when he's younger by family members and shit. Like, just the whole family. I think his brother did, or Kelly did. So I think that's like a common thing with people that are into this sort of stuff. There is a lot of like childhood trauma, abuse, and whatever else it may be. So it's probably not surprising, to be honest. But I remember reading that somewhere that some people are hypothesizing that Diddy's mum was also involved in freak-offs in some regard. Doe testified about carrying drugs in her luggage from Los Angeles to Miami on 2 occasions for Diddy. Doe was really jealous when she saw another woman spending no quality time with Diddy while hanging out with him at the studio and the gym, while most of the time she spent with him as the hotels. So I'm assuming that's Young Miami, because that's when they were beefing. I'm assuming that's Young Miami. I'm still confused, not to be a snitch, not to be a narc. I'm still confused why Young Miami hasn't been subpoenaed, or why she isn't testifying, or why she hasn't been charged. Because wasn't there an accusation that she was also transporting drugs? Wasn't she one of the last people involved with Diddy's romantically? Wasn't she also heard of saying on social media that she was at the head of the groupies or whatever else it may be, or the freak-offs? I've always been surprised why Young Miami hasn't been pulled up on this. It's really interesting, but maybe she's got a good lawyer on her side. That's a picture from the courtroom. Obviously, there's no cameras allowed, which is really unfortunate. Obviously, they've rubbed out her face, so you can't see it. But allegedly, like I said, people are saying that Jane Doe is 50 Cent's baby mum, that Blasian girl who Diddy was dealing with at the same time as Young Miami. And that's obviously an illustration of Diddy without the Just for Men, looking very, very old. Doe read another text from December 2023 in which she claimed the hotel nights were the only reason you have me around and why you pay for the house. Honestly, women, man. Women, innit? Women. You agree to this exchange. It's a very disgusting exchange. It's a very dehumanizing exchange. It's a very belittling exchange. But you agree to this deal where this guy will pay you 10 grand a month, but in exchange, you will have to be a sex slave. You agree to it. Then when it goes down, you start complaining, or you start catching, which, no, it's not even that. You start catching feelings for him. Romantic, that's what happens, I think, from what I can read it between the lines. It sounds like she actually started to catch feelings for Diddy and wanted to spend actual quality time with him. It's like, brother, that's not the arrangement. I pay your bills, you fucking give me sexual relief or whatever else it may be. Or, you know, you fuck all these male escorts. It's a crazy exchange, but that's what they agreed to. And then she tried to change the terms. God damn it. She repeatedly told jurors that she didn't like sleeping with escorts and only wanted to sleep with her partner. Fuck, bro. Fuck. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of the wild shit about Diddy, isn't it? But I guess this is like a power control thing. Why did he just get like slaws that are like into this sort of stuff? Why break like regular girls? This was probably her first time doing orgies, right? Similar to fucking Cassie. She said her first time doing any you know, even fucking doing oral sex was with Diddy. So I wonder if that's just like a textbook thing like abusers do. Instead of going to a woman who is into that sort of stuff, who's experienced in that sort of field, you'd rather take somebody who's innocent, who doesn't know any better, and break them, innit? It's fucking wild, man. Because this girl was clearly in love with Diddy for some reason, even though he treated her like shit. Doe testified that when she objected to the future hotel nights later in their relationship, Diddy would say things like, "If you want to break up, that's fine. I'm not about to be paying rent for a woman's house that I'm not seeing." She said she wasn't trying to break up with him, but felt obligated to perform these nights with him. I'm not going to lie. If I'm still paying your rent now and you get on a stand and testify against me, I hate you. If I'm Diddy, I'm throwing her mad daggers in the eyes. I'm throwing her mad daggers. I'm staring her down. I'm still paying your rent now, and you're on the stage. You're on the stand testifying against me. Honestly, man, the game is crazy. The game is crazy. As part of their love contract, they agreed to take a break from hotel nights for 2 years. She testified. Early in the day, she broke down in tears on the stand while describing some of the hotel nights, stating that Diddy didn't like it when the escorts wore condoms. Why is she calling it hotel nights and not freak-offs, by the way? Does she not like that term? By the way, look at Diddy, man. Like, Now I'm starting to get some of the gay shit. Now I'm starting to get it. Before I didn't understand. Why is everyone accusing Diddy of being gay if he's not doing any gay acts? Now I'm like, hold on. Why do you care if the escorts wear condoms or not? Why does that bother you? But that sounds like somebody that's like, you know, that's maybe not come to terms with their sexuality maybe. Like, why would that bother you? Why is that in your interest? One time on her birthday, sorry, not third birthday, God forbid. One time on her birthday in 2023, she reluctantly participated in a hotel night and asked an escort to wear a condom. Diddy gave her dirty looks and then she said, no, you better not ask for a fucking condom. She then grabbed a condom and Doe, the escort, proceeded. Doe said she developed frequent urinary tract infections. Oh my God. And her body became sore as a result of hotel nights. Her body became sore. Whew. And these urinary tract infections, are they because she's just having too much sex? Or is it because she's having unprotected sex? God almighty. God almighty. She really worked for that. She really worked for that 10 grand, man. She really earned every penny of that 10 grand. The jury also heard that the voice note that Diddy sent Doe on August 2023 during an argument after she cancelled on their hotel night plans because she wasn't feeling well. I'm about to really disappear on you. You'll have a rude awakening. You'll just have silence, he told her. Doe said she was pretty alarmed by the message because it made her realize that he could just cut him off. That he could just cut me off at any moment he wanted. Her testimony continues on Monday. Oh, yeah. What a weird position to be in. She knows what she's doing is wrong. It's affecting her negatively, mentally, physically, spiritually. But she can't cut him off. She can't move on. She can't end it because of the money tie. Because of the, you know what I mean? Because he's paying her bills. So she hates working so much. Keep this in mind. This woman hates working a minimum wage job so much. She'd rather get urinary tract infections and get ran through by a bunch of male escorts than work a normal job. Working for her is so beneath her that she'd rather subject herself to this amount of punishment, this amount of cruelty. I kind of feel for her, I'm not going to lie. I feel for her and I don't feel for her because she puts herself in this position, but God almighty. God almighty. If Diddy gets off on this, man, I'll be so shocked if he gets off. If he gets found not guilty, I'll be so shocked because some of the things that have been levied against him are fucking crazy. If he gets off, it's going to be an absolute miracle. An absolute fucking miracle. But, you know, let's see what happens on Monday. Moving on. Let's talk about Julian from New Rory and Mal. Some of you guys may know this drama that occurred a couple of days ago. Julian, an ex-producer of the New Rory and Mal podcast, these two podcasters who are formerly on the Joe Budden podcast, they fired this dude I think a year ago or maybe a few months ago, sorry, and he hasn't really stopped shutting up talking about them. Now, to be fair to him in this regard, Rory recently randomly fired a shot at this guy even though he stopped talking about them, so he felt he had to respond, and Julian responded and kind of laid out or provided more information as to maybe what led to him being fired, what led to the breakdown in their kind of, you know, relationship, and maybe and gave us a little bit more of a sneak behind the scenes as to what goes on over that New Rory and Mal podcast. Now, we have to take what he has to say with a pinch of salt because he's obviously a disgruntled employee, but I thought it was very interesting the things he spoke about pertaining to like Rory and Mal and their behavior behind the scenes. Kind of disappointing, to be honest, especially if you're a fan of the show. But I want to play for you a clip from this actual whole podcast where he kind of speaks about Rory and Mal's behavior, so you can kind of get an understanding, an idea on what's going on here. So, the first thing I want to play is this. Julian, let's play the start. Let's just play the start, the intro. Let's play the intro.
Nothing wrong with the pussy. Nothing wrong with the pussy. Nothing wrong with the pussy. Me somebody that like brags about shit they supposed to do. Like, nah, no. You don't get like credit for doing what you was hired for. This is what you get paid for to do this. Why are you throwing this in my face like you did something that you weren't asked to do? Just sit there and go, I did this. And it's like, nah, no, that was the agreement. Should I like give you a big hug because you did what you were supposed to do?
Nah, you got to put their name like in lights and like every day they walk and have balloons for them.
So that's the background. That gives you a bit of the background as to why he's angry, why he's upset. Because, you know, Julian will go on to say that, hey, I was quiet. I left these guys alone. I moved on. I got therapy. I'm working on myself. I've got a new job. I'm not thinking about these guys. And then they randomly threw a shot at him, right? So I understand why he feels the way he does. But let's move on to the other bit where he disses Mal's weight, which I really fucking liked. What is it? Around 325, right here. Around 325. Julian disses Mal's weight, which I thought was really, really funny. It's about here, right? There we go.
Because I know these guys, and they do this with every relationship that they have. Like, Rory, like, you're fumbling through a BetterHelp script when it's clear your therapy is just about as effective as Mal's diet.
Now, don't get me wrong. As funny as that is, it did kind of sound rehearsed. It kind of sounded like he wrote it down before, said it to himself in the mirror a couple of times to egg himself on, give himself some courage and shit. It didn't sound, you know, spontaneous. But it's still hilarious because it's very much on point, especially when it comes to Rory's therapy. I think Rory and Joe Budden are the most, like, ineffective recipients of therapy. You don't really understand, you know, Rory always talks about going to therapy, but you don't really see any evidence of it with his temperament, how he speaks. Joe Budden, of course, clearly is a known dickhead, known piece of shit. He allegedly goes to therapy, but he treats everybody around him like complete garbage. And the more this about diet is hilarious because allegedly Mal's a vegan or a vegetarian or something, right? But, you know, he's got bigger hips than, what's his fucking name? The guy in the SNL band, you know? It's kind of wild how Mal is allegedly a vegan and he's very rotund, a very, very rotund human being. So I thought that was a very, very on point and funny joke and observation, which I'm sure Rory and Mal especially won't especially like. But the really interesting part about this whole episode, which I thought was this one, was this bit here, 12:15. This was the most interesting and eye-opening bit, and the bit that I felt the baddest for Julian, right? This is the bit that I thought the worst for Julian. Julian details how sometimes his bosses would appear 2 hours late to the podcast recording. 2 hours late. Pretty crazy.
AKA role playing, if you're not familiar with the Fielder method. I know how this is going to go. This comes out on Tuesday, today, if you're listening, obviously. They're going to come into the studio. Well, now when I was there, they recorded 3 days a week. I still think it's 3 days a week, but say Wednesday or Thursday. Who gives a shit? And I know how it's going to go. Rory and Damaris will be there because, you know, the usual recording time's the call time used to be noon. That used to be, whatever, not happening. Now it's around 1 o'clock. So they'll be there at, 12:31, like normal people on time. And then they'll hang around for about an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting. God, I don't miss that. I do not miss just waiting. And then just see it sitting in anger and just sitting in burning time. And we all used to bond over that. Just like, oh, traffic must be crazy today, because that was always the excuse. And then at some point, in walks Mal. Here comes the elevator doors swing open. Mal walks in 2 hours later as if nothing happened. No, my bad. No, nothing. No word. No exchange of words. Nothing. Just gets right into the chair. Yo, what are we talking about today? Mind you, why we would used to get there at noon or 1 was because we used to have these things called production meetings. Imagine that. Imagine prepping and planning ahead of a recording. Those recordings, those production meetings would, basically myself and Damaris would go through topics. Rory would contribute, and then we kind of banter on like certain things, and then kind of figure out the shell of the episode.
So just imagine that for a moment. Imagine you work somewhere, and your manager, your boss, always comes to work 2 hours late, or let's say more than an hour late at least. Let's say more than half an hour. Consistently. What do you do in that situation? You're kind of fucked, innit? Because Rory and Mal are the owners of the new Rory and Mal podcast. So they can effectively do as they please because they own the show. So you don't really have anybody to complain about them to. There probably isn't any HR. Who do you complain to managerial wise? Rory. He's going to have Mal's back. Like, and if vice versa, whoever was late, they're gonna have each other's back. So there's nothing really you can do. You have to kind of swallow it. And it's really unfortunate because I think these little things can sometimes play a big role in you being unhappy at your job, and then, you know, eventually getting to a point where you get fired or you leave. Because I remember working in places, specifically in offices. One particular place I worked in, was in like a market. I worked for a company. I was in the marketing division, and I was doing market. I was a marketing and communication assistant, which basically meant I was writing these weekly newsletters. I was posting on social media. I was doing all the events, like in stores. It was like a paint company, and I was going in stores to do like in-store demonstrations. I'd go to university open days. I'd go to university freshers, and kind of like when a university fresher, there'll be like these events where local businesses will have stands and shell and shit, you know, and grift little things, whatever. So I'd be on a stand signing kids up to get fucking free samples, telling them about the paint that they sell, and it's kind of blah, blah, blah. Now I remember the office was in some really big fancy office somewhere in West London, and it was a big corporate company. I think the marketing team at least had one floor, over 100 staff working across different areas, across different fucking regions. So I was one cog in one big machine. But I remember my direct line manager, my direct person who I kind of reported to, she would sometimes come in late, like on a consistent basis, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes from like Thursday onwards. If you guys know about 9 to 5s, you know what happens. Monday to Wednesday, everyone's there on time, on point. And then for some reason, Thursday, suddenly people start working from home. People, they won't announce it the day before though. You get into the office and be like, hey guys, I'm working from home today. Da, 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 da. My cat is ill. My son needs to go to the GP. My fucking boiler broke. There's always something that happens on a Thursday or Friday for some reason. But I noticed this lady wouldn't even work from home. She would just come to the office late every Thursday and Friday, which kind of was annoying because I remember stressing myself, rushing on the Thursday and the Friday to make sure I got to work on time, being really nervous that if I got there at fucking 9:03, 9:05, even though I never was late, to be honest, at work, which is odd really, to be honest, because I'm always late to my streams. But when it came to my actual job, I was never ever pulled up for lateness. Never ever pulled up for lateness. It was one of those things that I was always in control of. If it's one thing I'm in control of, my kind of punctuality, I'd always kind of put that forward. Sorry, I've always do that and make sure I was always punctual. But it would always kind of piss me off and grind my gears because I was like, hold on, why am I rushing to work? Why am I fucking sweating on the overground, sweating on the central line to get here on time, when from Thursday to Friday, this woman will all the time turn up like 30 minutes late? And again, I couldn't complain to anybody because at that time, I think I was an intern, working that job I was working at. So I had zero rights. So I don't know. It was a strange feeling, man. It was a strange feeling when your boss turns up late, but you are always there on time, but you can't turn up late. If you do, like, and the unfair thing about this situation, I bet you, if there was one day that Julian turned up late, that would be the one day that Mal turned up early, and he'd call him out on it, you know? So Julian wouldn't say anything all the times that Mal turns up late, but if Julian turns up one time late, that would be the time, coincidentally, that Mal would turn up on time, and he'd fucking call him out on it. So I really do feel his pain on this regard. I think this is really fucking crazy. I really do feel his pain on it, and I would imagine that kind of situation would be kind of hard to deal with in real time. Because what do you really do? What do you do if your manager's late, and it's a small company like this, or it's like, you know, whatever? What do you do? Who do you report him to? How do you address this? How do you make your grievances or your displeasure of it, you know, known? How? It's really, really hard. Big up Kettles Moses. Mal is shaped like a flabber pre-war on She-Rock DJ Academics. I love that. To us, Rory is carrying more. I don't think so. I'm going to say they both carry each other. In general, I think all the podcasts have suffered from the breakup. I think the Joe Budden podcast is not as good anymore without Rory and Mal. And I think Rory and Mal podcast isn't good as it would be without the involvement of Joe Budden and maybe even Parks, who I don't like myself. But I think both pods have suffered from the breakup greatly. But I don't think Rory is carrying more. I think they both equally carry each other. I think there are some episodes that are really great that they do. I do personally like the fact that they stay away from drama and shit. That is definitely something that I can kind of link up with. Although they do sometimes clickbait their clips on social to drive, engagement or whatever in conversation. But I do like that they got like a different type of vibe and tone about them. I like that no one's kind of antagonizing the host to kind of get them to react to something. I kind of like it in general. So I'm not mad at the new Rory and Mal podcast. I just wish they're all back together. Big up Z. I would quit and do my own show or work somewhere else. I worked for people like that. I needed their answers to do my work, and they would just ghost us when they wonder why everyone quits. I'm not checking in to be stranded, so you can tell me I don't work. Exactly. Good point. Good fucking point, Z. Good fucking point. So let's move on quickly. There's one more clip here that I want to show you via this interview. The clip is at 16 minutes that talks about Julian's experience when he came to London. Now, this particular clip, this particular segment, I think Julian has no one to blame but himself here. I think this is him being too over eager to impress, being somewhat naive and immature maybe, and he only has himself to blame here. I don't think you can blame Rory and Mal for this situation. So let's play this.
Say in the clip that I led with, well, we never said your name, but if you feel that way, if you feel like that was towards you, then maybe that was like, then maybe you were that person. Maybe you felt that way, as if, yes, that was right. You weren't thinking of me at all during that clip. That's right. You're right. You know what? You've convinced me otherwise. I did need balloons every time we started a recording. I did need someone to hold my hand and celebrate me and give me a gold star. You know what? Shame on me. That was who I was the whole time. You got me, buddy. I wasn't the person that was willing to go on tour, tour manage, help write, and perform on the shows without making a cent off tour. You're right.
By the way, that's not a good thing, but you shouldn't be bragging about that.
That must have not been me. I wasn't the person that flew myself out to London, waited. I flew myself out to not work. I just wanted to be there and experience that because I'd never been to London. And then the day of the show, Benner got too fucking drunk at a bar across the street. The projector didn't work. And for those that are listening that are from our London that were at that first show, you know what I'm talking about. You saw how hard I was working. He's across the street just getting blackout drunk. I'm running in this old auditorium with this fucking 600 pound projector with these two, production assistants trying to figure out the show.
So, first mistake he did was paying for himself to go to London to help these guys out with their tour. He should never have done that. Nobody told you to go there. You paid it out of your own pocket to go there because you wanted to clout chase. You wanted to add it to your CV, I'm assuming. You wanted maybe to impress them. But you did this yourself. You should never have done that. He should have definitely asked or requested that they kind of pay for his flights. Or if they needed their help, his help, they could have paid for his flights and invited him out there. But the fact that he invited himself, and now he's trying to use the fact that he invited himself as a reason to bash them, it's like, no. You did that yourself. You are to blame for whatever occurred or however you were treated after the fact. I also don't like the fact that he threw under the bus whoever the Benner guy is. He threw that guy under the bus who was paid to be there. He threw him under the bus by saying, oh, that Benner guy you actually hired, he got blackout drunk. I ended up having to do his job plus my job plus all the jobs. I'm awesome. Pay me. It's like, no. That's your own fault. Benner, that guy was paid to be there. He got blackout drunk. That's his prerogative. You're not fucking, you don't get to judge and stand there and judge how you should be doing things. Or you don't get to kind of throw him under the bus and make yourself look good. It just sounds weird. And also the bit where he shouted at the fans. Oh yeah, you fans saw how hard I was working. How could the fans tell you're working hard? If you're running behind, back and forward in front of the stage, is that you working hard? Or is that you just relaying messages from the people that actually are doing the work? It doesn't really make any sense.
And communicating with you guys where we're at, because the person that's paid to be there, the person that flew first class to be there, the person that you pay a managerial cut for is across the street. Just,
Jealousy, by the way. That sounds like jealousy. This sounds like he wanted to be Benner. That sounds like whatever deal Benner had, he wanted that for himself. And because he didn't get it, he was really fucking upset. Hence why he decided to say what he's saying now. But again, you should deal with these type of things behind the scenes. Finding out if there's a solution or if there's an option for you to get Benner's role. Maybe proving yourself with the work that you're doing at home, making yourself somewhat indispensable. but I don't like this behavior. I don't like the behavior of throwing other staff members under the bus or getting them involved in the first place, mentioned by name, because it makes it sound like that person was on some fugazi shit, which they probably wasn't. It's all a fucking mess.
You know, blacking out and smoking and chain smoking cigarettes. But, you know, I deserved flowers and, you know, a fucking a high five for my efforts. I'm sorry. I was asking for too much. It was my bad.
You can't fly yourself out somewhere and then be entitled to feeling as if you should be congratulated for it. Like, I don't particularly agree with what he did, but maybe you can see it from the lens of like, hey, he was being like resourceful. He was being entrepreneurial. He was being motivated. He was being driven. He was trying to hustle, right? He's trying to make it out of the hood. So he's doing whatever necessary to get out of the hood. So he got that one drink, whatever, and tried to kind of go from there. Fair play. But you did that yourself with no guarantee on the other side that it was going to work out the way you wanted to work out. You have yourself to blame. So I don't like it. The size, I don't like it at all. At all. At all.
Myself out there, put myself up, figured out my housing situation, went to the show that I didn't think I was going to work and ended up working.
Why is he trying to list the housing? Housing is it mean accommodation? He's trying to list that as an accomplishment, as an achievement. That's on your. That's not part of your job role, is it? No. You found somewhere to stay. Of course you did. You're in a foreign country. You need a place to sleep. There's hotels everywhere. Why is he making it sound like that's a huge achievement? Strange guy.
I sweat through my shirt. Ended up leading the meet and greet. Doing the whole thing with the projector, and then my bad, guys. You know what? My bad for working too hard and expecting too much from you guys. That's so you know what? Actually, I'll take responsibility for that. It's stupid of me to go to London and support when I wasn't getting paid. So yeah, you know what? I am a fool. Maybe that really is what it comes down to. It's like
good awareness. Good awareness.
Loyalty, when people say they're loyal to a fault, I was certainly with them. And that should have been a wake-up call in itself. Jesus Christ, that was fucking insane. That trip was...
So, at least there's some reflection there, some honesty about the situation, but I do feel bad for him, I'm not gonna lie. He was trying his best to show himself and to prove his worth, but instead he just ended up getting exploited because he was too eager. But then his eagerness turned into bitterness and entitlement when he felt like he should have got the roles or the looks that other people are getting in that studio, you know, which is strange as well, by the way. Very, very, very strange. But here we are. So big up Julian. Episode number what's the episode called? SWWP number 20. SWWP 20. Read between the lines. Julian, check him out. He's got a podcast. Like I said, it's pretty decent. He talks a lot about comedy and shit. So let's see how he continues with that. Because I think before it was the Skeptics Ken guy thing, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, big up Julian. It's unfortunate to learn that Mal is one of those guys that likes to come 2 hours late to work. Pretty flexed up, pretty messed up. 1 second. And we are back. Sorry for the slight interruption there. Talking about interruptions. Please, can somebody tell me what's going on with this recent trend of people at raves, at festivals, deciding to jump on the stage? What the fuck is going on? It seems like there's a pandemic, there's an epidemic of over-eager punters jumping on stage, disturbing the show, grinding their bare white ass cheeks on the fucking DJ decks. This is another example of it. This guy doesn't manage to get onto the booth, but he somehow gets onto the stage. What is going on with people? Is it main character syndrome? Is it autism? Is it side effects of Ozempic? What the fuck is happening here? another guy jumps on the stage.
Momentos que solo pasan en Adriatique. Estaba analizando la jugada. Señor, ¿qué hace? Momentos.
What the fuck? What the fuck? So if you can't see the video, there's a guy right at the front of the barricade, Asian guy right in front of the barricade. Now, from my naked eye, he doesn't look too high to me. From my naked eye, from where I'm sitting, he doesn't look super high in my personal opinion. He doesn't look like he's tweaking. He's just watching the DJ perform. But he also looks like he's plotting. That's the face of somebody that's plotting something. And it seems like there's a woman or somebody beside him who's trying to get the attention of one of the security guards to tell him, hey, this guy's about to jump on the stage. So I don't know if he says something to somebody next to him, but the person beside him is trying to get the attention of the security guard, and then out of nowhere, he just jumps onto the fucking stage. Luckily, there's a security guard already there that already kind of stops him from getting to the booth. Luckily. And the security guard is also kind of nice because he doesn't try to like get physical or get really argy-bargy with the guy, even though he has every right to. In my personal opinion, I think if you really want to stamp this shit out, you have to start stomping people out. But I think these festivals don't want to be liable for any kind of, you know, lawsuit. So they'd rather just like talk to you and kind of calm you down and get you to kind of leave and whatever without it resorting to blows. But in my humble opinion, if you go to a rave, if you go to a festival and you decide to fucking jump on the stage and make it all about you and disturb the show, or maybe put the fucking DJ's life in danger, you deserve to get tumped out. You deserve to get arms, knees, and elbows to your fucking head, shoulders, knees, and toes. But in this regard, this guy got treated fairly nicely. But what the fuck is going on? Why is everybody jumping on the stage and freaking out? What is wrong with people?
Que solo pasan en Adriatique. Estaba analizando la jugada. Señor, ¿qué hace?
By the way, I like the lack of concern on everyone's face. The lack of concern and confusion. You can tell it's a rave. People are in other dimensions right now. People are in other dimensions. But look at the faces of people in the background. Look at the faces. That people are just like cautiously like checking out. What the fuck's going on there? You know? Look at everyone's faces. People are spinning, ketted out, peeled out. They cannot give a single fuck, but they have no idea what's occurring here. And this guy is just on stage trying to cause a fucking ruckus. I don't know what the fuck it was about, but big up the security guy, or big up the stage manager. I'm assuming this guy is probably right. Probably the stage manager, whatever. Big up this guy for talking this guy down and not resorting to violence. But another guy comes up here. I think this guy on stage, this guy who's sitting here, he looks like he's ready to scrap. Whoever this guy is here is out of shot. He looks like he's ready to scrap. He looks like if that guy makes a leap to the stage, he's going to punch him. He's ready to go. So he's luckily this Asian dude met this dude who's really calm and doesn't want to fight or anything. But yeah, crazy situation. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this guy decided to do what he did there. What people say in the comments, so maybe there's more information on what happened here. Probably, let me double check. What they're saying in the comments. I want to see if there's any understanding what may have happened. Probably he goes to turn off the equipment that's sounding like shit. Lols. Well, they all look really bored, so maybe bro felt like he needed to take control. Is that the dude who came to meet the underage kid at the supermarket and flipped his Hyundai in a car park? What? I don't know if that's the same guy. What's someone else saying here? ¿Por qué tiene audiofonos en una fiesta? Another guy here said probably he goes to turn off the equipment. It's sounding like shit. Well, someone says here he went to ask for Sandstorm. maybe he was wanting to request a Pausa track or something. Who knows? But if you thought that was it, if you thought that was the only guy that did something recently, I show you another person. during a Fatboy Slim performance. Big up the Aves or the Raves NYC subreddit. During a Fatboy Slim performance, look at what this guy did. What the fuck is going on with these people? Main character syndrome is running rampant in the rave scene. It's fucking crazy. Look what happened during a Fatboy Slim performance. Oh my god. Did you see that? If you're not watching the video, Fatboy Slim is playing, the legendary DJ Fatboy Slim, and some kid jumps onto the fucking to the table where the fucking CDJs are, and walks across it. Inadvertently, he presses his foot on, I think, one of the CDJs that stops the track playing. But in this video, different to the other video, he gets yanked by somebody on the stage. He gets yanked off the stage. Somebody pulls him off the stage. So I think that guy got beaten up. I think there was some violence that was fucking administered to this young man. I think he got some arms, elbows, and knees on him, because that looked like a strong yank off the stage. Look, see, look here. There he is there. Boom! He gets yanked off. He gets yanked off stage there. Someone pulls him by his shirt. Boom! Boom! So I think that guy got beaten up. So the unfortunate thing about these situations is this. Because there's been various occasions, various videos over the last few months, over the last few weeks, last few days even, of people at raves storming the stage, storming the fucking booth, and trying to hurt the DJ or make it about themselves or freaking out because they're on drugs. The unfortunate thing is now, because there's been so many events like this, people are now expecting it. And if you're the last person to do this, people are going to beat you up, you know, because they've learned from previous mistakes. They've seen what's happened in previous situations, and they're now going to make it their mission to fuck you up. That's the problem at hand here. So this kid, unfortunately, is suffering the consequences of the previous stage divers, stage fucking, you know, intruders, booth intruders. He's now suffering. He's now receiving the beatings of all the other people, you know. They're using him as the canary in the coal mine. He is the proverbial, you know, that guy that said in the podcast at one time that sometimes when he kills flies, he'll lay the flies on the windowsill, so that when the other flies fly past, they'll see the bodies of the other fallen fly compadres. So I think that's what happened here. Somebody had to teach this guy a lesson so that other people who maybe had the good idea or the wrong idea to maybe do this in the future wouldn't do it, because they would hear about him getting fucked up. Which I think I read in the comments, actually. Let me check the Reddit. But I'm pretty sure somebody said in the Reddit that this kid got fucked up. So what they say here, this is the type of guy who's never been told to shut up his entire life. Exactly, I agree with that one. Not to play the blame game. But why the fuck isn't security posted along the decks to keep this very shit from happening? They were later a little tighter, but it was pretty easy for a clown like this to hop on the tiered dancing area of the stage. Norman handled it like a fucking champ. Take a record of his ID and ban him. Because Knockdown never had security in the venue like ever, I had some drunk piece of Italian shit dude on vacation try to swing at me and my friends during a 2-show. I think I went a few weeks ago. There were literally no security staff in sight when I went to get help. Imagine getting swung on in a club and you run to go get help. Honestly, man, people in raves are too soft. You're too soft, man. Take some self-defense classes. Grab a bottle, man. Smash them on the head of it. Why are you going to get security for? Imagine. Go and get security. You're in a club. If anything, a club is a good place to fuck somewhere because it's so dark. You could get a couple blows in without anybody seeing you and then kind of disappear into the smoke, you know? Like Batman. Only time I ever saw security staff in that shithole was years ago when my late wife was sexually assaulted in the... my late wife, you know? Your wife died. Sexually assaulted in the bathrooms when we reported it, staff... He's always reporting stuff, this guy, isn't it? When we reported it, security staff told me that she wasn't into me. Her husband over a decade, and wanted it. Knockdown Center honestly needs to their bubble burst already, because they're somehow even worse than Avant Gardner and Mirage ever were, especially when you add Basement into the mix. So it sounds like Knockdown, this venue in New York, is similar to E1 in terms of they have pretty good bookings, but the security and general whatever is a bit shit and lackadaisical. It sounds like Knockdown is a bit like E1. They're too busy outside exercising the venue, screams at people for smoking cigarettes. Never seen this, the front gate, I disagree. It's definitely a reason for security to do that. In fact, it's their job. Kids are blotto, drunk, gonzo, tripping, standing in the middle of the road, blocking the doors. Not to mention everyone is calling Ubers to the exact same location, causing mayhem. Okay, I was off to the side when this music cut off and I saw him standing on the deck. He popped down and I lost him in a crowd. About 10 seconds later, 2 security guards were dragging him out with his shirt ripped off and his head slumped to his chest. Like maybe he was tased or knocked out or something. Yeah, so the security guards fucked this kid up. According to this guy on Reddit, that kid got fucked up. Reddit is wild with the comment removals. It's almost like everyone the automatic. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it sounds like that kid got fucked up, unfortunately for him. But it's not unfortunately, because you don't do that, man. You don't jump on stage and make it all about you. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Just rave and have a good time with everybody else. I'm wondering if this is like a new generation thing, if this is just people not being able to handle their drugs. I don't know what it is, but this type of behavior is not cool, man. This is fucking not fucking cool. Imagine, it's bad enough you walk on the stage, but imagine the one thing you do is you step on the fucking CDJ. You know, it's bad enough you walks on the stage, but just to step on the CDJ is like, fucking hell. Do you have no respect for the space, bro? No respect for the space. No respect for the space and the people around you. What an absolute weapon. So yeah, that happened. That freaking happened. Talking about things that happen. Talking about things that blood clot happen. Big up Michael Bibby. Big up Michael Bibby, who performed at that new club in Ibiza, which is called UNVRS. It looks pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie, but this video, this clip from inside the club also looks kind of unsettling. As much as I like it, it looks a little bit too cramped for me. I think they might have oversold this night. That Michael Bibby played that a little bit. I think they may have oversold this night just slightly. They may have oversold tickets to this event. What do you guys think? So, as you can see, it's fucking rammed, right? I personally like the design of it. The layout of it is fucking crazy. I love how there's massive lights, there's a massive window right towards the end, floor to ceiling, that lets in all the natural light in the morning as the sun rises. That's fucking incredible. Absolutely love that. Just imagine how crazy and magical it would look if they put any tints, if they put some colored sheets on the glass or something, and when the sun kind of pours through, imagine the kind of lights and the light show you get on in there. It kind of reminds me of how Berghain does it. Fucking crazy, right? So it's really cool view. And I also love these little mezzanine, canopy, balcony areas to the side. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what Mirage is trying to do with their redesign. And I also love the fact that at the back, the booth actually itself, I love that the booth is clear, the booth is like a table, but there's no cover, so you can see his legs. It's a small thing, a DJ thing, but it kind of makes you feel like you're not blocked, you're not like cut off, you're all in one space together in the club. Because as you can see here, when the kind of video goes in, the DJ booth is a table, but it's also clear underneath, so you can kind of see his legs, his feet, the DJ's feet. Small thing, but I do prefer. I know some people prefer just to have like a black sheet over the DJ booth to kind of make it look like a big block. But I do like that you can kind of see the DJ's feet and shit. So it kind of makes you feel like you're all together in one space. And then obviously in the back here, this is probably the VIP area behind the booth. But it's still really, really great kind of vibe. But it also gives him enough room to DJ. He doesn't have to be squashed there. There's no people kind of ramming in behind him. Obviously the balcony tiered areas are really cool. The confetti coming down. But the thing I also love the most, what I also kind of like and what makes it scary, is this bit towards the back. I love this little tiered ramp section. So if you're standing at the back, you can still see the DJ. That's pretty cool. Because usually most clubs, because it's all one floor or one level, if you're at the back, you can't see jack shit. But I like that they've made this bit at the back here, where if you want to, you can just be post at the back. But because it's on a ramp, it's on a bit of a hill, you can still see the DJ that's playing here at the front. That's a pretty good idea. But fucking hell, it's rammed, bro. That's a lot of fucking Caucasian people. Right? That's a lot of fucking white people, bro. Jesus fucking Christ. But again, it's Michael Bibby. He's one of the most famous, popular DJs out there. So it makes sense why there's so many people. But it looks fucking crazy. UNVRS. It's just opened, actually. It looks fucking amazing. But yeah. God almighty. Look at the fucking space. I just want to see some more video clips of it, actually, to see what the space is saying. Let's actually check out quickly their fucking Instagram quickly. UNVRS Ibiza. It's just opened up, actually. I think Fisher was performing there just the other day. Look at this. There's a clip of Fisher performing. For some reason, Fisher came down from the... Fisher started his set, right? Big up Blood Clot Fisher. Fisher started his set by traversing from the roof, coming down from the roof before he played on a fucking cable. There's, I think people are making a meme online. There's not a single Fisher track that should require this type of entry or entrance, but it's fucking great. I love it. It's fucking great. I think personally, I prefer these type of things, these type of like corny, whatever showmanship things in Ibiza, because Ibiza is a bit of a freaky place anyway, right? People want to see a bit of a show. They're spending a bunch of money anyway. Give them that theatrics. Give them the show. And obviously he gave them a bit of a show, because this is fucking crazy. He came there like he's fucking Chris Brown. Big up Blood Clot Fisher. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty sick. The way they timed it so that when he landed, it landed on the beat, on the drop, is pretty fucking sick. I'm not gonna lie. It's really corny, it's really cheesy, it's really fucking ridiculous, but I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like it. There's some pictures of him hanging with some cables. Me and Fisher wearing the same glasses. Love to see it. Big up Blood Clot Fisher. Oh, I love that too, by the way. I'm love, again, with these big super clubs, I'm liking the screen at the back. If only criticism would be, with these super clubs, I would prefer it if the screen, because they usually have these big LCD, LED screens at the back where they project things onto, like to kind of add to the atmosphere and to kind of give something visually to look at and to obviously share, obviously for social media. But I would prefer it if they would sometimes, what's that thing called? Mirror the image on the screen. So if you were standing at the back of this club, you could still see the DJ performing. That'd be pretty cool. If they had a camera, a roaming camera, so that they could then project, obviously reflect whatever you playing on that on the projection at the back. So if I was right at the back of the room, I could still see you vis-a-vis the screen. That'd be pretty sick. God almighty, the music is terrible though. EDM is so garbage, isn't it? Oh, yeah. people actually enjoy this, you know. Like, fucking hell, it's awful, isn't it? It all sounds the same. It all sounds the same. The drops are all the same. Like, fucking whatever, they get some vocals, some edit or something. Like, it all sounds the same. It's all so formulaic. EDM, it sounds so terrible, but they have so much fun, you know. I think EDM make the worst quality music of all dance music genres. I think EDM is the worst, but they put on the best shows, like production wise. They put on the best events. Like, people get dressed up. Like, you go on the EDM subreddit, especially in America, the EDM subreddit, loads of girls in really cool outfits, loads of guys in really cool outfits. Like, they really go out their way to dress up, to plan the event. Like, they get all their fucking drugs ready in packs and shit, talk about how much they're gonna dose, how much fun they're gonna have. They take cool pictures. The events is all fucking smoke and dinosaurs and lions in cages and shit. But the music is awful. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, no thank you.
Do you think about the days when we sat down smoking wine and drinking hazel? Is it the other way? Is it the other way?
Like, maybe I could handle this on holiday for like 20 minutes or something, but a whole night of this, I couldn't do this, man. A whole night of this, I really couldn't do this. No matter how many multivitamins I was on, I just couldn't do it. Yeah. But it looks beautiful though. The club looks fucking fantastic. This UNVRS club looks fucking crazy. It looks like a proper vibe. Absolute vibe. But, Mike, you know, maybe not for Fisher. Maybe Michael Bibi, not for Fisher. There's also a video here. Who's this? Jamie Jones and Carl Cox. Really? We don't want to see that though, do we? We don't see that. Let's not say that. Let's check out Martinez Brothers. There's a clip here of the Martinez Brothers playing as well, right? Martinez Brothers played. Let's check them out.
We must become supernatural.
Actually, what? Joseph Capriati and the Martinez Brothers. That's better. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks the best during the sunrise. This place looks the best during the sunrise, man. The natural light coming through on that fucking from that big, massive floor-to-ceiling windows. Wow. It looks really fucking cool when the light comes in. Honestly, when the sun rises. Sorry. This place during the day looks fucking sick. Woo! Martinez Brothers supremacy, bro. Gotta love the Martinez Brothers. 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 Absolute bosses. Oh, so what happens then? So when it's nighttime, does a screen come down? Because you can't see the window during the night. Interesting. So I guess during the day they lift the screen up, and then when obviously during the night they then put the screen down to obviously put all the things on there and shit. That looks sick, man. Honestly. I'm getting claustrophobic looking at it, but I'd love to go. I'd love to go, man. It looks fucking crazy. Look at the amount of people, bro. Look at the amount of people in there. God, oh man. Look at all the bodies. Body to body. No fucking gaps. Fucking hell. There we go, them having fun, the big smiles behind the booth. Best job in the world, mate, honestly. Can't wait till I'm on that fucking stage doing similar. This is fucking sick.
You got to make your feet be flat. Bitch.
Next. In the vehicle. But yeah, it looks amazing. Looks sensational. I really want to go. This place looks fucking sick. I really fucking want to go. I really fucking want to go. Big up Universe. Big up Universe. Big up Universe Ibiza. Tickets available now. You can see all the listings, people playing and shit. Residencies coming up. David Guetta's performing soon. Ero's performing soon. Bunch of people. A bunch of people. A bunch of man. Many, many people. Great little venue. Great little venue. Not little. It's fucking huge. But check it out if you're that way inclined. Check it out if you are that way inclined. Anyways, my friends. Anyways, that has been the Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 912. Thank you for tuning in. Been a pleasure to have your company. Smash the like button if you're watching this live. If you're listening via the podcast app, please leave me a 5-star review. That'd be greatly appreciated. Of course, for those of you listening and watching, I'm going to play my tune of the day. My tune of the day. I'm going to play this for you, which I don't usually do on the YouTube. I usually only leave that for the podcast side of things, but I'm going to change up and play it for you now. Those of you watching this live stream, obviously I'll be back later on for day 6 of the random show, so keep an eye out for that one. Probably about 11 o'clock my time, so keep an eye out for that one. I'll be back for the random show later on. But for now, thank you for tuning into the Agostinho Zinga Show. My song of the day is by none other than Obscur. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. It's just released recently the other day. Great little EP. Definitely check it out. Available on vinyl and digital. I just purchased it myself via Hard Wax, but it's available now. This is my song of the day. It's called Obscur by an artist called Obscur. The track title is Stockholm Syndrome. Thank you for tuning in to the Agostinho Zinga Show. I'll see you guys again very soon. Peace.